Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Cinema Savvy review. My name is Tate. I'm joined today with Chris. We are reviewing another film from the BFI London Film Festival 2020. The festival, as of the time of this recording, is now over, sadly. We have gone through all of the films. This isn't the last review you're going to be getting from the festival. We still have the closing film from the festival itself to come, which will be coming up in the next few days, the review for that. But we are left with a very interesting film from the festival, because I'm glad that we waited for this review. This film actually won Film of the Festival.
Oh,
so
wow, okay.
It's going to be a very interesting review, knowing that after the fact. But I'm going to pass you over to Chris before we start the review with the socials.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Tate, you did say that we've watched all of the films. We haven't watched all of the films. I think that's physically impossible.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But we've watched the grand majority of them.
I'm not going to lie. I don't even think I've introduced the film. This is another round. I'm not drunk, as the review should, I guess, be done, or maybe not, depending on how you view the film.
No, but yeah, tune in on Halloween, where that may not be the case. Yes, so socials, be sure to comment, subscribe, like, all of that good stuff. And although that London Film Festival's over, let us know if you've seen any of the films, which ones were some of your favorites. Maybe you've seen this one, maybe you like it, or maybe you missed it, and is this one you're looking forward to? Anything regarding these films, we do want to get a conversation with you guys. And if you want to see our schedule of videos, as I tease something for Halloween just there, the best way to do it is to go onto our social media. So it's Facebook at Cinema Savvy, and Twitter is cinema_savvy. And if you'd like to pick up any merch, we have a few t-shirts available at TeePublic. The link to that is in the description down below, where you can pick up anything on there. So again, this is going to be me asking Tate questions about this film, because I missed this film. To be honest, I didn't sort of like marry up the film with the title. You said, we're going to be talking about Another Round today. And I was like, which one's that again? And then I remembered it's the Mads Mikkelsen one, which was definitely one of the biggest of the festival. And as you said now, did actually win Film of the Festival. I got the trailer for this at the beginning of Ammonite, which we'll be talking about right after we've done this one.
Yes.
But I think mostly this one down to me was sort of star power, with Mads Mikkelsen being in it, and they were really sort of like pushing him. And I think that we'll definitely be seeing this film come award season next year for best lead actor or best supporting. I guess it would be lead actor, wouldn't it? Perhaps.
Yeah, he is the lead actor of this film.
But if you want to talk about the plot for this thing, so that people sort of know what we're talking about.
This film is by, is it Thomas Vinterberg? So Mads Mikkelsen actually worked with him before in The Hunt, another film which I haven't seen. But just like in The Hunt, the main character here, they're all teachers. So they're working in a school. They're living an okay life. They've got a good job, good money coming in. Mads Mikkelsen's a bit of a boring teacher, but he goes out every now and then with his mates just for celebrations for birthdays and kind of anniversaries and stuff like that. He goes out and they have a good time, but he isn't drinking. And one of them says, this scientist thinks that we are born with 0.05% too little blood alcohol content, and we need to raise it up by 0.05 to actually live as real human beings. So they decide to get absolutely blasted and then decide to try it. So they try to reason, really difficult to put into words. They try to put into reason as to why they can get away with it by saying, we're doing a scientific experiment. We're going to be monitoring the blood alcohol content that goes into our body, and we're going to make sure that we don't go over, we don't go under, we only drink within certain hours, and they try and keep that constant buzz going.
Okay, so when I watched the trailer for this thing, I thought, is this sort of like semi-based on a true story, these findings and everything like that? Was this a real group of people that decided to do this?
Think
or
so.
was this an original concept?
I think this is an original concept, and I'm very glad for it, because it did feel like you're watching a very different style of film to what I've previously seen. It's very well put together. It's almost like part film, almost part documentary, but I know that it's being completely filmed. The way that they're able to frame it, they keep on going back to kind of them taking their own findings down, making notes and everything like that. And it really does kind of take you on for that ride.
And it does seem like a film where I did watch the trailer again just before this review, just to sort of get clued up on it. It does look like one of those trailers where it does kind of give you the whole film in the trailer, which films that it's always a shame when that it doesn't. Oh, okay, that's fine.
I mean, I rewatched the trailer before we went live for a review. and I was like, holy shit, it doesn't even scratch the surface to any extent of the actual film, which I will go into at some point. I don't know if, Chris, you want to take out earphones for spoilers or anything like that, whether you'll get around to seeing the film.
If it's sort of like massive world-ending spoilers, then yes, I will take them out. But
it'll change your view on the film towards the end, I would say.
No, I'll take my earphones out because I always like to go into a film as sort of as clean as possible if I can. What the impression I was getting from this and another film that I'd sort of compare it to in terms of the struggle with alcohol and addiction and overcoming it and everything like that. This film looks like it will put you off alcohol as it did me whilst watching Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage.
I knew you were going to mention that film.
If you hate alcohol or you want to kick the hat, you watch that film. It's a disgusting amount of booze in that film. And it kind of looks like this film gets to that stage as well where everything's great, but then their reach overextends and they want to ramp it up, and that's where the real problem starts at home.
Within moderation at certain stages. So they start off with this kind of 0.05, and genuinely Mads Mikkelsen, who actually gets complaints from his kids, the parents come in and everything like that, they're complaining because he's a boring teacher, they're never going to learn for the test. He becomes more enthusiastic, and there's a positive effect from it. All of them show off these kind of positive things and everything like that. They then go on to individual trials. So what they say is, look, as a group, we've all agreed that 0.05% is a brilliant amount. We're loving this. We're enjoying our time. We're doing so much better. But now we want to see how far we can push ourselves for blood alcohol content per day without appearing to be drunk, but having kind of a good effect and a good buzz and being able to keep that up. So they keep on pushing just individual levels up. So it's all to their own. So one person goes up to like 0.1, one person goes up to like 0.07. So they're all at different levels anyway. They're trying to push themselves as far as possible just to get there. And then they don't drink on the weekends. They don't do anything any of the other times. So they kind of keep on limiting themselves. And that brings more positive effects. It also starts to bring in a couple of negative effects. And it shows off that balance very well. And the characters throughout the film, certain characters do certain things which they regret later on. Certain characters do things which they actually don't regret at all at the stage. And as the film develops, you see these four characters slowly become, they say that they're becoming more like themselves. They're becoming more like them true selves, but actually they're becoming less and less like there's more and more distanced away from their original selves at the start of the film. So it comes into question of whether you're actually seeing the real version of them now or whether you've seen the real version of them previously and this is far and away from that version. It does ask those questions, and it does go into a very deep dive on alcoholism, depression, and the ways that people try and get around or get out of it.
And with Mads Mikkelsen being the lead in there, does the film sort of distribute its screen time accordingly to every member of the group, or does it really sort of focus in on Mads Mikkelsen and it's his journey you go on? He's the main one you sort of experience in his life.
I've got to give away a few spoilers here, Chris. I'm really sorry.
Okay, well then you've got to give me the thumbs up, I'm afraid.
I've got to. Here's the thing, though, Chris. I do have to discuss this thing. It's not much of a spoiler. It's not the big spoiler from that. There's one which I'm not going to tell you about. Okay. But what I can tell you is relationships do fall apart in this film because of the alcoholism. And I feel like the biggest relationship that we see is Mads Mikkelsen's character with his wife and the deterioration of that over the course of the film with the alcoholism coming in and just the lack of communication with him at home. And it doesn't look like a cushy situation at the start of the film. So it definitely doesn't look like a cushy situation as the alcohol comes into it. And even though he tries to kind of do more kind of challenging things in their relationship, you just know it isn't enough. And the further he pushes with the alcohol, the further he pushes with that kind of relationship thing, and it just ends up just completely crumbling. And he is the main character, and a lot of the screen time is dedicated to Mads Mikkelsen's character and that relationship that he holds, especially with the other guys in the group and their own relationships within that. But he's clearly the main character of this film, the main focus of this film. You do get a lot of screen time given to the others, but not in the same effect.
And as a performance piece, what is Mikkelsen good in there? Would you say he's worthy of an Oscar nomination come next year? Or
I've seen a lot of performances from Mads Mikkelsen. I've seen him in a lot of films, in TV shows, and various different things. It's difficult to say this kind of because I haven't seen his entire filmography. From what I've seen, this is a career-defining performance.
Wow.
this is an absolute powerhouse. And the previous years, I'd say, oh yeah, he's got no chance getting into kind of like top actor, like best actor, kind of best picture nods and everything like that. Best foreign language film, of course, it's foreign language film. It's got general wide release. It's probably going to get a nomination. With the door being open with Parasite last year, I can easily see him being nominated for best actor on this film. I can easily see the film itself possibly even getting a shout for best picture, which would be very interesting. I don't think it would win best picture. I don't think it has the legs to carry it over. It's not like Parasite. Parasite was just another level. This film is incredibly good and one of the best I've seen this year. But like, there's some things from the film that holds it back, which I can't talk about because it's
spoilers. That's the spoilers. Do you want to talk about spoilers? I can remove earphones and give me the thumbs up once you've discussed it.
I kind of do. I kind of do. It's only going to be a short while, though.
It's that time again, folks.
Yeah,
spoiler alert. Again. So that's me out.
Spoiler for anyone who wants to take out their headphones. When they start to go on to the third stage and they become kind of blind drunk, and it affects their life, going into the school, seeing that kind of negative effect of the alcohol, I like seeing that in the film. I do think, I don't know if it's cliche or not to have one of the characters die off, because you kind of expect it at the start when it kind of goes into that things. It's very predictable which one, because it's the one who has absolutely nothing to lose. There's kind of, he's the least fleshed out character out of all of them. So it kind of makes sense that he's the one that ends up dying. But like, it's the absolute ends to meet ends. Like, he is at the very end of his tether, and therefore that is kind of the point there. Chris, you can come back in.
It's okay. I put earphones back in, but I just realized I could lower the volume on my computer.
You could.
I don't need to take the visual. I just take.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, this is definitely a film that I mean, I saw the trailer and I think that it's a kind of film that I think I gravitate towards. I like seeing those struggles that people go through, whether they're overcoming something like an addiction or something like that. I like to see that journey in film. And if you say that this is a sort of a walk-away performance from Mads Mikkelsen, you said career-defining performance by Mads Mikkelsen. This is one that I definitely want to check out now. Sadly, because I have missed the boat on this one, I am probably going to have to wait till next year when we do get all those re-screenings of the Oscar films for wider release. But this is definitely one to watch. I think this is going to be up there. I think we're going to see this in a lot of categories next year.
I could actually see this film being remade as, I said this whilst watching the trailer, and I'll say this again after watching the film. I can see this having remakes in English language. I can easily see this film having remakes in English language. It was listed down as a comedy. This is not a comedic film. I don't know if Danish humor is that kind of dry that it gets to that kind of stage, but this is a truly deep and dark kind of look into alcoholism.
Maybe if your blood alcohol level was at 0.5 take, you would find this film funny.
There were some moments of the film which are somewhat comedic, somewhat funny, but this is a full-on drama. I don't want people to go in thinking, oh, it's going to be a comedy and then get completely blown out the water with depression or anything like that. But I do genuinely see this being made in the English language. And this isn't really a spoiler, because there's little clips of it in the trailer and stuff like that, but if I didn't need to sell you on this film any more than just saying you can watch Mads Mikkelsen doing jazz ballet whilst blind drunk at some point during the film, then, you know.
I wonder if he did get loaded on set, because, again, going back to Leaving Las Vegas, I know that Nicolas Cage did drink a lot and like went completely method with it and did get drunk on a number of occasions for the filming.
I have no idea. I'll take a quick dive into the trivia and see if anything comes up.
I don't know how much trivia will be available at the moment if it's still a very new film.
Not much,
because
it was filmed in Copenhagen. The character played by Mads Mikkelsen was originally meant to have a son and a daughter, the latter being played by the director. However, oh no, that's horrific. Oh, okay. One of the characters who was meant to be cast in the film died before filming. That is not nice.
Wrong trivia. Whoa, okay, whoa. That'll do it for our review, guys.
Back away from that.
I think we should take it to the outro, don't you?
I think so as well. This was a fantastic film. You can't take anything away from this.
Do you think it's worth? I was going to say, do you think it's worthy of Film of the Festival? Not that we didn't see everything, granted, but out of the ones that you've seen,
from the films that I've seen, the best film of the festival and my favorite film of the festival are two very different films. Best film of the festival, it's a toss-up between this film and probably Mangrove.
That's mine at the moment.
No, actually, One Night in Miami was fantastic.
Oh, don't rub salt in the wound, dude, because I didn't see that film.
Actually, to be fair, no. Best film of the festival was probably One Night in Miami. My favorite film of the festival is Wolfwalkers. I think this is a happy medium between the two. This is one that could be high up on a lot of people's lists, and they probably didn't vote for it the same way that Oscars have voted, but I could easily see this being the least offensive one to pick to go for. So, yeah, it's a good film. Did it deserve it? I mean, it probably could have deserved it. I think there are films that deserved it better, but it's a nomination that could have been put forward for it. But yeah, we will go into the Ammonite review with that knowledge that I've kind of given away my thoughts on the festival.
We will indeed, but that'll do it for Tate's review on another round. Once again, be sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Let us know what you thought of this film. If you have seen it, if you haven't, is it one you're looking forward to seeing? Any other films that you managed to watch during London Film Festival? I know that we had a few commenters who were keeping up to date with all of the films coming out from that thing. Do drop us a comment and let us know. And once again, our social media to follow us with all of our future reviews and video ideas and new things that we've got coming out. You can find us on Facebook at Cinema Savvy, Twitter at cinema underscore savvy. Wow, get my tongue tied. And drink, yes. I do have one down here actually. And obviously, if you want to pick up any merch or anything, we do have some t-shirts available on TeePublic. The link to that is in the description down below. That will do it for our another round review. We are going to do our video now, which was actually the closing film of London Film Festival, which was Ammonite. So, yeah, we're going to get and record that now. So thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.